still thinking. And so I'm really excited. I would like to, if you don't mind, get from you so I could share, what did it give you to delve and dig into these 12 facets that we did? You know, there's emotional, there's spiritual, there's sexual, there's financial, there was nutritional, there's health and fitness, there was parenting, gosh, I forget what are the other, there's social life, um, there's infinite intelligence, emotional intelligence. I forget the other two. So I'll just leave it at that. What did it give you to delve into it the way we did for
Yeah.
all those weeks?
So I graduated from the Peace and Happiness program last year, and we learned so much. It's like so much. It's so much. And those are knowledges and skills we have tools, and the next step is to adapt it into our own life. I remember that we finished all the homeworks and we went to each of the lessons, and towards the end you were having us writing down something towards some questions, and it's just so that you want to see where our mind was at. And I remember that, and then the next class you were asking a question that how many of you are think you guys are in 4D or 3D or 5D, and then you were telling us none of you guys are there yet because all of you guys had the dualism. And I remember that, and dualism is like a big question mark to me because I learned what it is, what it does in my life, but what I want to have is to have the vision and to have the method to see them in my life as it appears, or maybe when I dig deeper and learn the method to how to deal with it. And this is exactly what I learned in this continuing program. I find a lot of dualisms when I was writing down these plans, and you keep reminding me, is this really what you want to be at? I realized what I was writing down about my plan, where I want to be, and I wasn't really writing those down. I was writing down how I where I think I am. And probably, for example, I wrote down what's your vision or premises for character. I wrote down my character were like designed by my growing and living environment. And I remember you asked me, is this what you really want to see on there? And that really reminded me that yes, it may have been that way or had been that way, but it doesn't define me. However, when I write this down, when I think this is how it was, I give it power to define me. And a lot of more concepts came out to me, for example, with finance. What do I think it really is? Is it money accumulating in the account? I remember after that session, within the week, I had a very completely new or refreshing idea of what it is. And then I changed what's on my finance plan. I used to say it owning a home, but then I changed it to creating a home. And
I
there,
remember you shared with me that even like your finances changed that week.
yes. And then also that is another strategy or actions to support my continued vision for finance. I wrote this down, like to have the vision to practice recognizing and observing other or kinds of other forms of fortune in my life instead of just money.
I love it. No, yeah, most definitely. It can be such a huge shift. I had a huge shift in dualisms, and it was really funny. The person I was talking to you about the whole phone call, and I told you he was a coach, one of my coaches. And I remember when he was coaching me, he says, you know, Raquel, I thought of him so much yesterday because it makes me want to cry. He says, you know, Raquel, you might find out when you really get to the bottom of who you are that you don't, because he saw me as a very selfless person. And people, like yesterday, I was talking to another person and it says, yeah, like your whole thing about no man left behind. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Because I have that attitude, like no man left behind. It's not about getting to the top of the mountains. How many people can I get there with me? Right. And so he told me, and he was so right. He said to me, you know, when it's all said and done, you might find out that you don't want to be, or that it doesn't service you for what you want to do with this no man left behind, to be so selfless. And I was like, okay, I was open to it. And that was back in like 2012, 11, 10, maybe, that he told me that. And it was till yesterday, August, what is today?
26.
So August 25th, that I really got clarity. And I was like, wow, I really understand that it doesn't service me to be so selfless, because it doesn't, and it was certain ways how I saw how I can have that, I can play into that image, like you said, that was passed down to me. Because of my raising. There's this show called The Handmaid's Tale. And there's this character, she's the main character, and her name is June. And I say, my mother made me and my sisters Junes. We're like that character. Like, she goes through so much, but it's because she doesn't care. She wants as many people to get away from the tyranny and the torture that it is to live in where they are, that she doesn't care. She'll go through it. And I really, relate to that, but not from a martyr, just from like, it's the right thing to do, not from a martyr place. And, and these things that I'm trying to, in order for me to grow this program, in order for me to grow this business, in order for me to grow this movement, in order for me to grow this culture into a more expansive, where it has more reach, that that it impacts more lives, I'm having to learn that, they say you're only as strong as your weakest link in the team.
Yeah.
And because I am the one leading this, I have to be so strong. I have to be so taken care of. I have to be so healthy. I still have to be so resilient. I have to be so shining bright in my light, because I am leading it. If you're only as strong as your weakest link, and if I'm the top part of that whole link, and I'm busy making sure everyone is better, I'm not really pulling us forward.
Yeah.
Because I'm so concerned. And that's a dualism.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's taken a lot of thinking for me. Yesterday, my head was hurting almost all day, because of, I was noticing how there was this person that I had a conversation, and I knew they were not like 100%. I knew they weren't mad at me, but I just knew they were like, it was tough conversations, right? And it was so interesting, because I had the urge of how bad I felt, because I wanted them to be okay. It's not my job for them to be okay. It's their job for them to be okay. That's dualisms. That's breaking away from the way I've always known to create something new.
Do you mind clearly identifying what exactly the dualism is right there?
When I want somebody to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
The dualism is, I say I want to shift the Schumann resonance scale to a higher scale, but then I go down in my scale and feel bad that they're not feeling 100, that they're not happy.
Right.
And so then I'm going to, I guess there's a form of guilt. There's a form, because if I speak my truth and that bothers someone, or that moves their cheese, and now they're not 100 okay, then I can feel guilty for speaking truth, speaking my truth, or sometimes speaking infinite truth, and I want them to be okay. So which one is it?
Yeah.
Do I want to be a mirror for them to level up in their consciousness and shift the Schumann resonance scale, or do I want them to be happy?
Yeah.
Do I want them to be okay? Does
There's
that
a
make
big
sense?
difference. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
There's a big difference.
That's actual love. Yep. So let's go ahead and do your theta. We were going to do it on your parents, right? What did we find out? It was regarding when we did the parent facet of your writing. Something came up, right? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what came up.
Me. Sorry, I'm telling you, does not the business me taking a nap. Oh, it's way too tired. Okay, I don't have any notes here.
Parenting.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to go next.
Oh, I think you were saying that I think as how your daughter thinks. That's the only comment I remember.
What was it?
You were saying that how I think were like how your daughter thinks, that the parents should be responsible for the decisions they make. Like they need to understand that it's a responsibility, and they're not, though they're dependents to the parents, doesn't mean the parents can hurt or manipulate the kids on purpose. I didn't
Yeah, I
read
remember.
this
But do you remember what we were going to do for, you wanted a theta on that particular, what was
Yeah.
it?
Right now, I don't remember, but right now when I'm looking at it right now, it's like I'm response to my experience. What I'm saying, like, it's a big responsibility. They should not manipulate or hurt the kids, and respect is very important. They should not do this. These are all from my
I
experience
think,
as a kid.
yeah, I think what you ended up, you wanted a theta to clear because you were saying your parents' thinking or thoughts still affects you a lot.
Yeah, I think during our session, I was a little bit emotional when I brought up something, and that's when you said I might need a theta.
Yeah, it was that their thoughts still affect you. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get into it and see what comes up for us. We'll start from there. So all we're going to do is have you kind of relax your shoulders, unlock the jaw, allow your facial expressions to soften, and you're just going to breathe. Would you like to release the nervousness or tensions and the tightening of your heart when you're already expecting for your parents to be against your thought process, your thinking, your decision, or your desire?
Yeah.
So as you breathe, remember all the times that your chest has tightened because you feel they're going to resist your way, your thinking, your desire, and exhale out, giving them that power. Cut the cord right now. As you're breathing, exhale out, being hooked or binded to their feelings. Cut the cord from allowing, kind of goes what we just talked about when somebody feels a certain way and you're feeling guilty. Release the guilt that you're thinking is different than theirs and that makes them upset or disappointed. Exhale, feeling responsible to make them happy, to make them proud. Release feeling that you owe them or are indebted to them, and just replace it that you can love them, you do love them, you do care. And you can care without clean up the idea that caring means you need to move according to how they think or feel. Caring doesn't mean that you have to deconstruct your way of feeling or thinking. It just means you care for their well-being and you do nothing to obstruct their well-being. Them being upset has nothing to do with their well-being. Being angry is not good for our health, but that's something they're choosing. That's not anything you can stop. So just allow yourself to breathe. And I kind of scan your brain, your mind, your body. And as you scan, wherever you find that you feel heaviness or responsibility or feel in debt, exhale it out. The unconscious Cyndi, the subconscious Cyndi, that is connected to that, let that go. Let that Cyndi go. Judgment that you're now different and you're not the way they planned or would have wanted you to come out. Let go of that responsibility, like you were supposed to fulfill somebody else's vision of you. Breathe that out. Purify your feelings towards them by removing all resentment. Release the habit of feeling or thinking that you need to be sacrificial. Remove the pattern of being sacrificial and replace it with only giving and knowing to share from where you can afford to. If giving in the end is going to make you resentful because you gave of your time, your resources, your love, your care, then you can't afford. Always receive right now, knowing how much you can give or share or care before you become in deficit to your own being. receive right now a download of being very aware of how much or what to give. Release the idea of being here to be others' salvation. However, receive it with knowing that you can provide a lot of salvation by modeling what it looks like to save yourself from limited thinking, to save yourself from toxic patterns and dynamics and behaviors. Receive how to help people save themselves by walking, living, acting, behaving from your divinity, and therefore showing others that they too can come from this divinity. Release the old scripts that you have. And then at this moment, visualize yourself completely renewed, vibing different, acting different, behaving different, acting, just really your own frequency at this time. Allow yourself to say, I elevate, just purify and wash away, clear and cleanse old patterns and replace it with just this very new, high frequency, resilient, incorrigible, kind, empathetic, compassionate, transcendent. Transcendent means its beauty, its power. It surpasses what always has been and transcends into divinity. Transcending in such a way that many will transcend around you. When we're truly transcendent, it actually shifts others as well. Thank you. Thank you. It is done, done, done. Amen.
Thank you. Let me stop that right now.
Huh?
Sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up here. Oh, Dios mío. Should not have taken a nap. I won't do that again. Okay, I'm gonna share this one.
Mhm.
I need to get the last two that you wanted me to finish. But this one, no, it's not this one.
Oh, I look much better after this theta.
You can see a difference. People tell me that they can feel a difference in their face. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, this is not it. Okay, this one's it. So I'm going to share I'm going to do one extra one because this one's going to take, this one needs a whole hour, and the theta was a bonus that we needed to get out of the way. But I want to show it to you because I'm going to share it with you, and then this way you can help me out with it. Okay, do you see it here, Cyndi?
Yeah, I can see it
So this is how we have. So these are your chapters. Do you see these here?
Yeah.
There's only ever consciousness, minding our character, mastering our emotional intelligence, awareness of sexuality, conquering the financial perspective, revering health and fitness, discovering parenting and self-parenting, enjoying nutrition, embodying infinite intelligence, expanding career, beauty of social life, infinite intelligence, harnessing personal growth, right?
Mhm.
And so then I write you here, this is like my little note to you. In consciousness, we find alignment. Life flows from the space. So if you're ever in dis-ease or not flowing or out of sorts, it's because you're not in alignment with consciousness. You just need to put Archie back to whatever's going on to get yourself back to consciousness. That's how I did it for myself yesterday when I was like, oh, I have these feelings. And then that's what I was like, oh, it's codependency and it's this and it's you're not responsible, and bring it back. What does it take to shift the Schumann resonance scale? I Archie it. It's consciousness. Anytime you're feeling sad, anytime you're feeling outside of balance, for the most part, it's going to be you're out of consciousness. Often we will be living out of subconscious passed down patterns and beliefs and call it fate. So a lot of people are living out from their passed down patterns and they're calling it destiny or fate. You are a creator. That is not the way. Unaware and unknowing, we will by default repeat much of the past, creating very little, if any. It is when we enter a deep relationship with consciousness that we will access being a co-creator and alchemist. In consciousness, one's life can be something we never imagined and come to such beauty it transcends past and welcomes evolution, that it is as above, so below, as within, so outside. This handbook guide, when we read daily, will rewire your mind to master consciousness as your reality and uproot unnecessary patterns, dynamics, and non-serving thinking and feeling. It should be non-serving thoughts and feelings. Let me see, can I do? Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. That's Carl Jung. He's the father of psychiatry. To pick up the guidebook daily is to look inside and awaken. You see that? How do you like it?
I love it.
Okay, so then it has every which one, and you see all of this is a lot of the stuff that you wrote. I've cleaned up a lot of it already.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pull up the emotional one.
Clean up means deleting?
Edit it.
Oh.
To conscious thinking, or yeah.
Thanks.
Let me pull up. Oh my gosh.
Maybe after realizing that dualism, you need a big break.
You know, yes, I do. Because I was like, I need to, yes. Yeah. Okay. Emotions are how I feel about things. How I feel about things eventually becomes my truth and my life. Emotions are how I feel about things. How I feel about things eventually becomes my truth and my life. I am capable of controlling my emotions and how they shape my life. After everything we talked about today, do you like that?
No. Then what do we, how do we define
I
emotions?
edited it. You want to hear, you want to see what I, okay. Emotions are how I feel about things. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Not always how things actually are. How I feel about things is well served to be held up against Archie, that I may then decide from accuracy what is my truth and creates my life. I am capable of feeling my emotions without being their slave or governed by them. It's like I told you, I was irritated, but I wasn't their slave. They didn't make me act a certain way. They weren't governing me. I was still doing what I needed to do. Emotional intelligence allows me to channel, guide, and direct my feelings so it shapes my life in a positive manner.
Wow.
Because that's what you actually were trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So I did that. I did that all the way up until.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
What part?
The editing part, because so first of all, my first language is not English. I know really limited words of how to describe, but then in another way, it also reflects what like my limited thinking. And another thing is, I mean, everything you're teaching us are really new to us that I don't even know we have this new concept, but I don't even know how to describe it in words. And being able to describing it in words by you showing us how to do that would change a lot of power and vibes from inside to the outside.
Yes, most definitely. And that's why we do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it says, I understand my power and beauty as a being. This is for the sexuality one, awareness of sexuality. I understand my power and beauty as a being. Being female is one angle of a multifaceted, multidimensional compass of all and who I am. It is amazing and wonderful. It cannot be defined by anything else other than me and God. I can choose different ways to express my sex, my gender, my sexuality, perform it, and release it. How I define it is completely my decision and my choice. Sensuality, intimate. So you're getting a lot of your power back that society has stripped so much of that.
Yeah.
Sensuality, especially if you've been raped or molested, or if you're a girl trying to, it's funny. Some men will love seeing ass shots, but then they'll talk about it negatively, like, oh, well, she's putting herself out there. And like, but you like those shots. So there's, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, nobody gets to define us. I'm not saying ass shots are the way to go, and I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I have no business defining anyone else's sexuality.
Yeah.
Sensuality, intimacy, identity, behavior, and sexualization surface from God's definition, meaning, and understanding. I took that from something you said. So I just edited it. Sensuality, intimacy, identity, behavior, and sexualization surface from God's definition. You're not going to allow this world, old ways, archaic, old school, or new ways, modern, updated, to define. You will allow these things to be defined by the meaning and understanding and definition of God. It is not defined by society. It is not perverse or dirty. Everything with my sexuality and sex are the source of all life and existence. The way everyone came onto this earth is because two people had sex.
Yeah.
So why are we making that perverse and dirty?
Yeah.
Like, there is no one on this earth that is here differently, So
that's so true.
Yeah. People can be perverse, but sex is not perverse. And we often make sex a perverse and dirty. That's why it's taboo to talk about it. And when we need so much education, if we had education in this area, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we have, like human trafficking. Okay, both are powerful, precious, and beautiful. To see or feel negativity towards it comes from a societal or generational wound that I release and cut cords with. I am healthy and divine in my sex and sexuality. I am whole and complete.
That's amazing.
So the goal is that for a year, you have 13 pages. 12 of them are the 12 facets of your life. And if you read this every day before you go to sleep, this is from a very high consciousness, and this is yours. This comes from within you. So imagine for you to wake up and read this. Instead of reading, I need to see these videos and to really harness this in. What do you think a year from now your life will look like?
Wow. Then I would really be living with a higher consciousness because I am just part of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You are consciousness. It's not something to try and achieve and have at moments. That's where control comes in. Oh, control my emotions. No, the goal is to become consciousness. Then there's no need for control, and you can still be upset or mad. Character's power. So I did your character one. I did your emotional. I did your sexuality. I did redo your money one. Let me go over here.
Mhm.
It was actually really good to read your financial. It gave me some, it was good for me. I needed some of the stuff you wrote. I really liked.
Thanks.
Oh, wait, is this the revise? Okay, so you wrote, my energy attracts money, resources, and wealth. They are attracted and created through my energy. And then you wrote something, I have the ability to create, attract, and manage. I think you wrote something else. I erased it there. I am the ability to create and manage abundant finances. Do you see how I changed that?
Yeah.
Have and I am, two very different things, right?
Yes. So the difference is if I am, I only need to allow it, redeem it. If I have or don't, is
It's not, it's fleeting when you have, because you can have something and you can lose it. It could be here one day, it could be gone. But if you are, it can never be taken from you. That's why I always say, it doesn't matter how much you take from me or how much you add on to me.
I couldn't hear you anymore.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
What was the last part you heard? Can you hear me now?
Hi, can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you right now.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
You can hear me?
Great.
Okay. What was the last part you heard?
Oh, we were about what's the difference between I am and I have.
Okay,
And
so if you have, you can lose it because you have it. It means it's not yours. It's not who you are. So it can be fleeting. It could be here today, but gone tomorrow. Or the systems, or it can change. And now you need to get updated on your education, right? To have the ability.
Yeah.
You know, to manage money. But if you are the capability, I am the capability. I am the ability to create and manage abundant finances, for I am abundance. I would even add there. Okay. That changes because that can be taken from you. You are that. It goes back to quantum leaps and metaphysics is basically what's being here. Money is energy. We create fortune from inside. Stability, flexibility, capabilities of taking risks are more important than volume. I am responsible for earnings, attraction, creation, and spending of finances and how it supports my life. People's finances are decided by how much they can create and manage, not how much they physically own. I really like that. It's been, I added this, it's being great steward, divine stewards. Stewards is somebody that they understand, like for me, any opportunity, like when I was giving the opportunity of the tea house, it wasn't like, oh, it's mine. It was, I was a steward because I'm not a tea house person. So I knew, but then I have a lot of, I am abundant. So I know the stories that need to be created. I know the themes that can go on the tea house. for it to become something that shifts the Schumann resonance scale, because that's where I thrive. How do we add that element to the tea house? But the tea house per se, that's not my forte. So I knew the tea house wasn't for me. And so I passed it on to somebody that I knew, and I passed it on really to my sister and two other women, but my sister really loves the tea house. But you see, the tea house that opportunity was never really mine. I get to be a steward. Where does this go? That's what it is to be a divine steward. I am connected to source, to God. I am wealth. I am abundant, and my finances reflect this knowledge. And then I have to insert a picture for you of opulence or luxurious. Do you know what opulence is?
No.
That's my word. You need to look up the word. But that's what you had written here. I have the ability to create, attract, and manage, to not have any outside things like money to define myself. I'm so good at unleashing my energy to create, attract, and manage my finance. Yes, money is energy. We create fortune from inside. You had a lot more written. I think I erased it. It's probably, look up your financial one and compare it to what I wrote. And you'll see it's very different, because I'm going back to yours here. And it's not what I wanted to do, but I'm going to share this. I'm going to continue to work on it this week, and then we'll set up. I think we have one more session in 2 weeks.
Oh, we haven't set that up yet.
Okay, go ahead and just go online, and you know how to set yourself up on Booking now. I'm going to share this. Share.
I don't. I think I emailed. I don't know how to book it online. I think I emailed Christy last time.
Okay.
Or Christy.
It's really easy. If you go to the network.
Oh, it's on network. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the network, and it's really easy. You just go to the bottom. Let me.
Bottoms, book privates and workshops.
There you go. Book privates. Just click on that. You should have an account, because you just put in your email, but you should be able to book. And this way you could check things out and book them at your leisure. You don't have to wait on me, and I forget to put it in my books. And
yeah,
you just do it yourself. Let's do it 2 more weeks, and I'll be finished with all of them. And then you can finish doing the 2 that you say you still have, and I'll get those in there.
Okay.
I'm very excited. Can you see now? Can you start to get a picture of what I mean with this handbook, this manual, this guide, how powerful it's going to be for you to have it?
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, so it's going to be powerful. Okay, then I'll touch bases with you in 2 weeks. I will send you a video that I would like to have you see. I think it'll be powerful for you to check it out. Let me stop the recording here.